Good afternoon, students. Today we'll start with Block 5. Block 5 is Organization Culture and Role of Organization Culture on Organization Design. So before starting the role of organization culture in organization design, we'll know what is organization culture. So, as from the beginning, we know that organization design is culture with structure. The different types of structures we have already discussed, and we have also discussed different types of design. Now, we'll see what are the types of culture and what are the role of culture in organization design. So, before starting with all those, let me first tell you what is organization culture. Organization culture is shaped by beliefs and assumptions, values, and norms. So, beliefs from our childhood, values which we have got from our family, relatives, friends, from our neighborhood, the different norms with which we are brought up from childhood, and different assumptions and perceptions. So, assumption, let us take one example of assumption and perception. That is whether God exists or God doesn't exist. That is also coming under beliefs. So, organization culture is shaped by our beliefs, our value system which we inherit, the norms, the rules and regulations which we follow from the childhood, the do's and don'ts which we have received as instruction from our elders, the conscience which is built up by our elders, and the assumptions and perceptions. So that is culture. So culture, a person which has these cultures, he takes all those things to the organization, and every organization has some type of culture. So which culture of the organization is there, it leads to different ways of doing things in the organization. Like for example, if any organization is having a set of culture, then the employees of that particular organization will show the type of behavior they must show, and they have to adopt to that particular culture. So this culture, it is from the family, from one system we go to another system, that is called organization. So, culture plays a critical role in designing any organization structure. Culture refers to shared values, beliefs, and behavior of the people who are working in that organization. Culture influences how employees interact with each other, how decisions are made, and how work is done. So, culture has a very crucial role in organization design and organization structure. So, now we'll come to culture again. What we hear, observe, and learn from our surrounding shapes our culture. What we try to do, and if we fail, again we retry to do, that also shapes our behavior and belief. The foundation of our culture has to be transmitted to the next generation. What we believe in our family tradition. Likewise, exactly, the foundation of culture which is set in the organization, it has to be transmitted to the next generations. So that is the purpose of setting a culture in a particular organization. Like for example, if we have in our family, we follow some rituals. Like we follow, for example, the Hindus follow Ganesh Puja or the Muslims follow Eid. So the family believes that whatever rituals we are following, our next generation should also do the same kind of rituals. So that is the expectation of the elders, and it is followed also. There are always exceptions, but in most of the cases, the same ritual is followed by the next generation and again the next generation. The generations to come, they all follow the culture. So, in organization also, when a particular kind of culture is set by that organization, it is a strong belief that that culture has to be transmitted to next and next and next generations. So that is the meaning of culture, putting culture in the organization. And culture helps to shape the behavior of the employees in the organization. Culture is developed in the organization and transmitted through employees consciously or unconsciously to the next generation. That is the purpose of culture. So, culture also derives results. So, whether an organization is efficient, not efficient, effective, not effective, performing, not performing, giving results, not giving results, culture has a very big role to play here. Different types of strategies require different types of culture also. So let us now see what are the importance of culture, why organizational culture is important. So there are various benefits of putting organization culture in in certain system. So it results in increased employee engagement. The other day I was discussing about employee engagement. If employees are happy with the organization, if employees are satisfied with their job, they are happy with the job environment. Here comes culture also. If they get a good culture, conducive working culture, then employees are more engaged to their work. So many people, for example, many people come to the work, they just stay inside the organization for 8 hours or 10 hours. They do nothing, or even if they do something, it is maybe 5% or 10% of their efficiency they put in the work. Most of the employees are not engaged. So not engaged employees, they do not give performance. Engaged employees are performers. So, if the organization culture is good and employees feel happy to work in that particular culture, then employees are engaged, more engaged in their work. They feel happy with the culture, they feel happy for their job, they feel like coming to the workplace if there is a good and conducive culture to work. Then it also results in decreased employee turnover. So if organization culture is not good, employees leave the organization. As there is a proverb, employees do not leave any organization, they leave their bosses. So any employee, most of the employees leave their boss because of bad culture. If organization culture is not good, the boss behavior will definitely be not good. So employees will leave their boss. If it is a good culture organization, then employees turnover will be less. Then The next one is more productivity. If employees are happy, they are coming to the workplace, they are happily working there, so employees' performance will enhance, which results in more productivity. Strong brand identity. So, if there is a good organization culture, that organization's name and fame, it spreads. Any organization, you like, for example, the working culture of any organization, if that culture is good, then with spread of mouth of the employees, people will come to know about the brand or about that particular organization. And if the organization culture is not good, that also spreads very fast, that XYZ organization's culture is bad, so people are leaving that organization. So, through spread of mouth, a brand will be created, a strong brand will be created outside the organization, so that talented people will be attracted to come and join in that organization. That is a very positive outcome. Then, transformational power. If the organization culture is good, then it can transform very quickly. It can adapt to changes very quickly. If, like, for example, technological change, if organization is adaptive, the culture is flexible, then very quickly they can transform their culture. Then organization culture, good organization culture gives good performers also, as I told in the other point. Then effective onboarding. When people join in the organization, the onboarding is good. Onboarding is a process where the newcomers know about the organization then and there during the interactive session, during the joining, during the what is that called introductory session. So during the onboarding process also, if the culture is good, then there would be like introduction of different departments, introduction to different employees, to colleagues. So that is a good thing which gives a good impression to the new employees. Then healthy team environment, healthy working environment. If the culture is good, then healthy working environment the employees will get, and accordingly their behavior will be good. So which results in so many positive outcomes. Then let us see what are the percentage of employees who, like, there was a survey in HBR, Harvard Business Review, which resulted these results. So, as per the HBR survey, improves recruitment efforts. 77% of workers consider a company's culture before applying. Employees who apply for jobs, they try to find out the organization culture. They ask different ex-employees, they ask the present employees, they ask the competitors of that organization before applying to that organization. So the result is 77% of people consider a company's culture before they apply for a job in that particular organization. It improves employee retention. So 65% of the employees stay in the job for good organization culture. Like I was telling, people don't leave the organization, they leave the boss. Boss means they leave the culture. So improve brand identity. 38% of employees report they want to change their job due to poor company culture. So, due to poor company culture, they want to change their job. Then improve employee engagement. So companies with a positive culture have up to 72% higher employee engagement rate. So these are some of the findings for the culture. Then how to improve organization culture? So what are the steps those are to be taken to improve an organization culture? Communicate well. So what would be communicated? The strategy of the organization, the goal of the organization, targets, vision, mission, everything should be communicated properly to each and every employee of the organization. If there is a communication gap between the top and the bottom level of the organization, then there would be poor culture in the organization, because there would not be role clarity and goal clarity. So there would be ambiguous role and ambiguous goal. If there would be ambiguous goal and ambiguous role, that means if employees are not clear about their role, then they cannot perform in the organization. Employees do not know what is to be done. They do not know their job description. They do not know their role properly. Then they will be like directionless. They cannot perform well. So good communication has to be there to improve organization culture. Whatever maybe the culture is existing, if someone wants to improve the organization culture, the first thing would be good communication channel. Every employee has to be communicated clearly the goal of the organization and the role of that particular employee. Then listen to concerns and ideas. If employees are having their ideas, some new ideas, some creative ideas, some innovative ideas, and if they have some issues, some concern for the organization, that are to be listened very carefully by the authorities or the boss. So if there is a concern, employees or maybe from customers side there is a concern shown for the organization, that has to be taken very seriously by the authorities. And if there is an improvement idea also, then that improvement idea is also to be implemented in the organization. Then encourage feedback both from employees and from the customers. So there has to be encouragement from the organization to get the feedback, whether organization culture is good, organization structure is good, organization design is good, the performance is good, the result is good, the product is good, the quality is good, the quantity is good. So many things are there for which they can get feedback from the customers as well as from the employees. That has to be encouraged by the organization and the authorities to improve organization culture. Be consistent. It's not that the organization or the authorities they listen to the feedback, they listen to the ideas and concerns, and they implement that, and then they after some months or some years it vanishes. No, if you want to improve the organization culture, you have to work consistently, encouraging feedback, listen to concerns and ideas, communication, good communication, proper channels, everything, and it has to be continuous and consistent. So these are some of the things which are to be implemented to improve the organization culture. Then there are 4 types of organization culture. We'll discuss different types of organization culture. First is clan culture, which is also called collaborative culture. So what is a clan culture? It is a traditional culture, and this the example of clan culture is family business. So the tradition of family business is carried forward by the next generation. So which is collaborative in nature, supportive in nature. It is a friendly environment, friendly culture where there is loyalty and commitment, and they do things together, and there is a mentoring process which we can observe in this clan culture. The seniors mentor the juniors. Suppose there is a new employee who has joined recently in the organization. The seniors should not think that, say, oh, he has come new, he cannot do anything. He has no idea, he has no knowledge. But in clan culture, what happens? The seniors take the new employee with them, and they mentor him or her. They guide him, and they take him with them, and they work together. So it's a family like type of corporate environment where everyone's views and ideas are valued. Clan cultures have a friendly, collaborative culture and are often compared to a large family. This type of culture emphasizes the consensus of the employees while taking any business decision. So, suppose any business decision is taken by the organization, then every employee's opinion and idea is valued. Their opinions are asked, their feedback is asked, and everybody's opinion matters. Helping each other during working hours, eating lunch together, playing games together in the evening, and celebrating each other's happy memories are the attributes of clan culture. So, there is a family like bonding in clan culture. The best example of clan culture is startups. So, what happens in startups? In startups or any family business, established family business, which is carried forward. So, what happens in startups? There are very few members in startups. So, because it is in a nascent stage, the business is in a nascent stage, and very few members are there, employees are there. So their birthdays are celebrated together, their marriage anniversaries are celebrated together. Each and every employee is given the same importance in the organization. Their ideas are accepted, their feedback is encouraged. So that is clan culture. It's a collaborative approach. Let us see the advantages of collaborative approach or clan culture. Productivity and company growth is consistent with this type of culture. As all are working for the same goal, all are working to improve the productivity, improve the company's growth, then it is consistent in such type of culture. So there are clear communication and transparency because it is a collaborative approach. Everybody should know what is happening in the company. Everybody should give their ideas and views. Every member is comfortable voicing their opinions and ideas. Employees are appreciated for their excellent work and also criticized constructively without hurting their sentiments. So, in clan culture, what happens? Employees are appreciated for excellent work and also they are criticized, but in a constructive way without hurting their emotions and sentiments. So, here what happens? As a family works together, if someone is to be criticized, but for a good reason, without hurting the emotion. So, exactly that happens in the organization also. So, these are some of the advantages of collaborative or clan culture. Now, let us move ahead with another culture, that is advocacy culture or creative culture. Advocacy culture is a risk taking culture, or innovation and creativity is given more importance here. Example is entrepreneurship, new business. Here, less emphasis is given on the hierarchy. People take risks, people are more creative, they do more experiments, and there is a leading edge of this organization. So, here, organization leaders are innovative and creative in their approach. They are inspirational innovators who accept challenges, take risks, and ready to break organizations' assumptions. So here what happens, if any assumption or belief is there already in the organization, then in advocacy culture or creative culture, those assumptions can be broke by these leaders, by the authorities. So they can break the existing organizational assumption, and they can take challenges and risks, and they can innovate new things. They put their creative ideas in doing things. So here the example is 3M. Employees get their chances to spin their balls multiple times when they miss it. So, in the rigid culture, or suppose, for example, in the hierarchy culture or bureaucratic culture, what happens? If one ball is missed, means that is a big offense. But here in advocacy culture, employees are given again chances again and again to try and retry what they want to prove. But in any strict culture like hierarchical structure, there is no second chance given to prove themselves. So, this is a very flexible culture where employees can showcase their talents in advocacy culture. They can put their ideas on the table. They can put their brain on the table if they want to bring some changes. And here, the businessman or the entrepreneur is inspirational for others. What are the advantages of advocacy culture? A shared commitment to innovation at every level of the organization. The employees are given free hand to do research, to do experiment, and bring new ideas to the table. And it is a commitment from every employee to put innovation in the organization. And it leads to competitive advantage at market. If one company is innovating something new in the product, putting something new, a new feature in the product or a new feature in the service, then that becomes the company's competitive advantage from other competitors. An inclusive environment that welcomes all ideas. All ideas are welcomed. Everybody, whoever gives some new idea, innovative ideas, everything is welcomed by the organization who has this advocacy culture. Now let us move to the market culture or competitive culture, compete culture. Market culture is result driven, always market oriented and highly competitive. So they do not look for the employees sentiments, emotions, whether employees are hurt, either employees are happy, they are not happy, they do not look for that. In such type of culture, they are always profit oriented, market oriented, highly competitive, result driven, performance driven. They always want that their organization has to be the best. Example is, there are so many examples of this type, such type of culture. Profit driven, result driven, market oriented, highly competitive culture is Reliance Industries Limited. This type of culture thrives for results and works relentlessly to penetrate the market and get maximum shares. So they are hardworking people. They work 24/7. They work day and night to get the maximum shares in the market, and they penetrate in each field of the market. Everywhere you can see this type of culture is most common in more giant corporations where leaders are relentless, strong, and have very high expectations of their teams. Employees are given challenging goals. Employees are always put on targets. This target is over, give another target. This target is over, give another. Those employees are always on their foot. Challenging goals are given to employees. They are always on their toes and they are pushed to achieve those at any cost. Employees have to achieve their goals at any cost. Hard taskmaster. Such type of culture is very rigid culture, very competitive culture. People feel suffocated in such kind of culture because they always have to achieve the target. Private banks, you can take the example of private banks. They are also always target oriented. They have to achieve the target at any cost. Performance is very closely monitored, for which it is not unusual for employees to be rewarded as well as punished. So performance is very closely monitored, the achievers get rewarded as well as the non-achievers get punished. Getting the job done is the number one priority in this type of company culture. The advantages of market culture or compete culture. Goals are met at any cost, and if they are not, new ways are explored to reach the goals. So whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the position, the employees have to meet the goals. There is no other way out. If goals are not met, then employees have to find out, the organization has to find out different other methods to reach the goals. Employees are consistently pushed to go extra miles and are driven and inspired by their leaders. Very hard taskmasters. These leaders are very hard taskmasters. The employees are consistently pushed to go extra mile and get their goals achieved. They are always ready to react to any changes in the market to ensure they maintain the market share and stay ahead of the game. So see, they always think that we should be number one in the market. Whatever we are, maybe they are in the retail, maybe they are in the finance, maybe they are anywhere. They want to be number one in the market and they should have maximum market share and stay ahead of the game. So these are the advantages of this competitive culture or market culture. Then hierarchy culture. The fourth type of culture is hierarchy culture or control culture. So what is hierarchy culture? It's a bureaucratic culture. Bureaucratic culture. Hierarchy culture is a formalized, strict, structured working environment where there are various hierarchies which are to be followed and maintained by the organization. Leaders are proud of their efficiency based coordination and organization. The example of such hierarchy based culture is government offices. Stability is there in such kind of culture. Stability is there. There is one assigned process of working. Employees cannot deviate from that structure. They cannot bypass one authority and go to another authority. They have to follow a particular structure to reach the highest authority. Keeping the organization functioning smoothly is the most crucial here. The result, they are not result oriented or profit oriented or productivity oriented. They want to follow certain rules, regulation, hierarchy, and there has to be smooth functioning in the organization. So that is the first very important thing here. Formal rules and policies support the organization together. The long-term goals are stability and results and are directly paired with the efficient and smooth execution of tasks. So results, benefits, productivity, everything comes in the long-term goals, not in the short-term goal. So long-term goals would be results or productivity or efficiency. But day-to-day working has to be smooth with a particular structure, a defined structure, and where stability of the process is seen. Then advantages of such culture, hierarchy culture. Employees who work for hierarchical organizations feel more secure, get paid on time, and are safe to stay in their role in the long run. That means job security is there. As I told, government offices have such culture. Job security is there. People are happy working there as they have a job security. They get the payment on time, salary on time, and they are safe to stay there. And benefits of promotion lead to exclusive advanced status and reward. This can prove a great motivator for employees. So promotion chances are there, status improvement is there, and it is a time bound promotion. Whenever there is your promotional cycle will be there, and whenever there is a time for promotion, automatically the people will be promoted, their status will be improved, their salary will be increased. So everything is safe and secure in such type of culture, hierarchy culture. Then employees gain level through consistent hard work and effort within a set role. By focusing on their work alone, they are more likely to achieve expert status in that one field. So work is very monotonous here. One person, if someone is doing a particular kind of work, so he has to do that same set of role every time. There is no change in the type of work what people do, and they consequently they become experts in that particular type of job. So you can see a graphical representation of the four types of culture: clan culture, advocacy culture, then market culture, and hierarchy culture. Hierarchy culture is also called control culture. Market culture is compete culture, hierarchy culture is control culture. Factors that shape an organization's culture. So, what are the factors that shape organization's culture? Some of the factors are given. So, before moving to factors that shape an organization's culture, let us first see what are the prerequisites for a good culture, good organization culture. A good organization culture prevails where a vast majority of the employees share the same type of culture. Vast majority of employees follow the same type of culture. Then it is called a good organization culture. Then another prerequisite is this culture must pass on to the next generations. So that culture which is followed by many of the most of the people in the organization has to be passed on to the next level, next generation. Then it is a good culture. It must shape behavior and perception of the employees. The third requisite of a good organization culture is it must shape behavior and perception of employees. So these are the three prerequisites of a good organization culture. Now let us know what are the factors that shape an organization's culture. First is the hiring practice. Effective hiring practices can help an organization capitalize on its culture. So, if any organization is having, as I told in the beginning, if any organization's culture is good, then a survey says 77% of the applicants will be willing to work for any organization where there is a good organizational culture. So, likewise, earlier, the hiring focuses primarily on an applicant's skills, but when a hire's personality also fits with the organization culture, the employee will be more likely to deliver superior performance. Suppose, for example, we take one example here. If the employees who are hired by the organization, their culture matches with the organization's prevailing culture, then the employee will perform better. Like, for example, if any employee who is a firm believer of God, that is an inherent quality which he has inherited from the family, from his family, his or her family. He is a strong believer of God, and he comes and joins any organization where the organization culture doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in Almighty. They believe in performance of the employees. They do not believe in the Almighty's or anything related to Almighty. So this person who has joined in the organization, he will feel uncomfortable working there. He cannot deliver in the organization. Here, his performance will not be as expected by the organization. Because whenever there would be a discussion among the colleagues, sometimes it happens because for 8 hours employees do not work. There is lunch hour, there is coffee breaks, there are so many things. So employees get small breaks, coffee breaks, and also they get lunch break. So during the conversation, if the person says, "Oh, suppose for example, yes, God is there. This would definitely give good result," or "God is there, our bill will be passed," or "God is there, we'll definitely get the contract," for example, then the other non-believers who are sitting with him, they may laugh at him. So the person will not be comfortable sitting with them in future. But if the organization culture is, or the values of the organization is similar with the new joinee, similar with the new hire, then definitely the new joinee will perform better. He will feel comfortable working in that particular organization with that set of culture. So culture is inspired by beliefs. Culture is inspired by perception. So believing and non-believing on God is also a belief and perception. So this is one example of hiring practice. So similar minded people, similar minded employees are to be hired by the organization, which gives a good organization culture and better performance. Some hiring practices to ensure cultural fit include looking at each piece of the organization's vision, mission, and value statements. Conducting a cultural fit interview. So, during the interview process, also, the organization must know which type of interest this person is having. What is his mindset? What are his values and beliefs? So, that is a cultural fit interview. Leaving discussion of company culture for later. So, leaving also that there has to be a discussion about the company's culture during the onboarding process, during the hiring process. Making sure at least 3 people are involved in the hiring process. Onboarding. After the hiring is complete, then there is onboarding of the employees. Onboarding teaches newcomers the employer's value system, norms, desired organizational behavior. So during the onboarding of the employee, that is also called induction program. During that period, the organization's culture must be communicated to the new hires. Employers must help newcomers become part of social networks in the organization and make sure that they have early job experiences that reinforce the culture. So employers must ensure that the new hires, they understand organization's culture very well, and letting the newcomers know about the social network of their organization and reinforcing and inculcating the organization culture in the new hires. So onboarding process should be such that there would be two-way communication. Employers must try to find out the employees' culture, value system, beliefs, assumptions, everything. And also let the new hires know about the organization's beliefs, value system, and culture. So, what happens in the process? The organization can expect the desired behavior from the newcomers. Whatever behavior the other employees are showing, or the way the other people of the organization are behaving in the organization, that expectation can be there from the newcomers after the onboarding process is duly done, after the onboarding process is efficiently, successfully done. Reward and recognition program, it is another factor. These programs are key mechanisms employers can use to motivate employees to act in a particular way in accordance with the organization's culture and values. For example, if teamwork is a core value, bonuses should value teamwork and not be based on individual performance. So rewards and recognition programs should be designed in such a way that it can motivate the employees to act in a particular way. Suppose, for example, there is every work is done in a team. So reward has to also be given in team, not individually. If one team has achieved the target, the reward and recognition has to be given to the team, not to any individual performer. So employees should not expect that they should be rewarded separately or individually for their performance. Employees should not behave that they should be rewarded separately. So employees' behavior must be oriented as per organization's culture and values. Employers should also put the spotlight on those who personify the company's values. So, employers also take care of those employees who also motivate other employees about the organization's value system and culture. They guide the other employees about the organization's value system. So employers also should find out those employees who are motivating others to follow the organization culture and to behave in a particular way. That is very important. Performance management program is another factor. Employees who share values and aspirations tend to outperform those in environments that lack cohesiveness and common purpose. Performance management programs can greatly affect corporate culture by clearly outlining what is expecting from employees, as well as by providing a feedback tool that informs employees about proper behavior. So what is performance management program is something which is a designed program where a kind of cohesiveness and team building is created in the organization culture, where people work together in a team, and that has to be guided by the other senior members, which also provides a feedback tool that informs employees about a particular kind of behavior that is to be shown in the organization during performance. Conflicting messages regarding corporate culture may create distrust and cynicism, which can prompt or help employees justify actions as deleterious as embezzlement. So, conflicting communication is always bad for the employees. So, there would be role ambiguity as well as goal ambiguity. If employees are not clear about their role as well as goal, then they cannot perform. So, improving communication is a very important factor of organization culture. So, suppose that one strategy is to be communicated to all the employees of the organization, and two different persons are communicating the same strategy in two different manner. So here what happens, there is a conflict of messages. This happens with culture also. So conflicting messages regarding the culture also creates a ambiguous work culture in the organization. People are not clear about the culture. Suppose one authority says each and every individual will be rewarded for the work done, but another authority would say there would be team reward for team performance. But the organization culture itself is a team culture. So, this individual reward, there is no question of individual reward. So, conflicting messages is coming from the authorities to different authorities regarding corporate culture. So, if there is no individual culture, individual reward culture is there, then how one person would expect individual reward? So, whatever communication from top to bottom regarding the culture has to be very clear, and the communication channel has to be proper so that it would reach to the bottom. The same message has to reach to the bottom regarding the culture as well as everything else in the organization. Experts say that cultural inconsistencies may also cause workers to grow discouraged. Suppose they are confused about the organization culture, they will be discouraged to work properly. Their behavior will be very disappointing because they do not understand what is the exact work culture in that organization. Suppose, let us take the example. Suppose the employees do not have to follow a strict rules and regulation. During the onboarding process, it is told to them that it is a collaborative or clan culture. So they expect collaborative culture and they are doing their work. So during that process, suppose one authority asks explanation from the employee that why the particular employee, he or she, did not report to him on such and such date, such and such time. But as the employee has an idea that it is a clan culture, so he is not expecting such kind of explanation from the authority. So here the employee will be discouraged to do work. So he himself is not clear about the working culture. He knows it is a collaborative culture, but again the authority is asking him some explanation. So now the explanation means it is a hierarchical culture. So two types of culture are existing. Employees become confused about the organization culture, and they sometimes also feel discouraged to work in such an environment. Then organization culture also improves organization performance. Organization culture improves individual satisfaction. It serves as a control mechanism of behavior, desired behavior as well as undesired behavior. So the end point is organization culture shapes employees' behavior in the organization. So that much for today. Thank you very much.